राजू जी, ये स्क्रीन यहाँ पे रेप्लिकेट हो जाएगी? Good morning everyone. Welcome to Plutus IAS, and we already started discussing about the PYQs in that series. Again, I am in front of you to discuss some more questions. Today we are going to discuss question 41 to 60, and the first question is, दरवाजा बंद कर दीजिए सर. Consider the following pairs. We have to match the column. On the left side we have given terms sometimes seen in the news, and here the terms given are Belly 2 experiment, blockchain technology and the CRISPR-Cas9 system, and on the right side we have given artificial intelligence, digital or cryptocurrency or particle physics. Let us first discuss about the Belly 2 experiment. Belly 2 experiment is done for studying particle physics. What is particle physics? There is a standard model of particle physics which tries to explain how the universe evolved with time. Basically, this standard model of particle physics classifies everything. Everything means starting from any matter, from anything like this pen, this building, earth, all the planets, all the stars, everything inside the universe has been originated from 17 different particles, and out of these 17 particles, 12 particles are matter particles which give weight to everything. Matter particles means which give weight to everything. Here they have put 12 particles. 12 out of these 12, 6 are the quarks and 6 leptons, and 5 particles under force category known as force particles. They have classified everything, but in the standard model of particle physics, you can remember one more thing. They have not taken into consideration about the gravitational force. Reason being, it has been proven that this force exists, gravitational force exists, but the scientists are not able to quantify its presence in the laboratory. That's why it has not been included in this model. But everything else, like the God particle, Higgs boson, and other like quarks, antiquarks, leptons, all types of 6 leptons, how they are giving rise to the mass, everything is included in the standard model of particle physics. What it talks about, we have studied the structure of anything, of a substance. A substance contains atoms. Atoms are having electron, proton and neutron. This standard model of particle physics goes beyond electron, proton and neutron. It is telling us how these electron, protons and neutrons come into existence. So we study standard model of particle physics. In this Belly 2 experiment, we studied violations of standard model of particle physics. So Belly 2 experiment is related to particle physics. Now second, blockchain technology. What is blockchain technology? It is a technology for entering transactions. It is basically a technology for recording transactions. You can consider it like a Google Sheet. What happens in a Google Sheet? You record multiple transactions, and all the computers which are connected with this Google Sheet, they can edit it, they can enter the records. In the same way, blockchain technology, you can do the same thing, but here you will be taking certain measures, like while doing any entry in this Google Sheet, you will be doing everything with the help of digital signature. and everything will be entered in the encrypted form. Two things, digital signatures and the encryption will be used to give any entry. Second thing, all these, it will create a block of data. All these transactions will create a block of data. That block of data will be present on every node. Every node means on all the computers connected with this blockchain, you will be having the record of the transactions. Now, how you classify this, how you understand this? This is a distributed public ledger system. It is highly decentralized. There is no central authority in the blockchain technology. It means it does not require any monitoring by a central authority, and everyone can see the chronology of different transactions. So you can track a transaction, so it becomes more secure. Everyone can see the transaction, but only the owner can edit the transaction. This is the benefit. Now let us talk about right side. Blockchain technology studies about digital cryptocurrency. We are using this for like non-fungible tokens, which can be used for anything, any digital product sale. And cryptocurrency, we know it is also based on the blockchain technology. Example, we are having Bitcoin. Now the next, CRISPR-Cas9 system, this already we discussed in the yesterday's class. So in the UPSC, questions are getting repeated in one way or other way. So it becomes necessary, or it becomes essential that we focus on the PYQs. Please do all the PYQs. Here the right answer will be this match. Clear? Only two here is right. The answer will be B only. Next question. This question is having a long statement. Let us read about the statement. When the alarm of your smartphone rings in the morning, you wake up and tap it to stop the alarm, which causes your geyser to be switched on automatically. The smart mirror in your bathroom shows the day's weather and also indicates the level of water in your overhead tank. After you take some groceries from your refrigerator for making breakfast, it recognizes the shortage of stock in it and places an order for the supply of fresh grocery items. When you step out of your house and lock the door, all the lights, fans, geysers and AC machines get switched off automatically. On your way to office, your car warns you about traffic congestion and suggests an alternative route. And if you are late for a meeting, it sends a message to your office. Accordingly, in the context of emerging communication, so full stop. Accordingly, here the full stop. Now the main command. This was the context of this question. Now I am reading the main command. We have to be very attentive here. In the context of emerging communication technologies, which one of the following terms best applies to the above scenario? So by reading the full paragraph, there is a one common observation in all the points, that you are connecting number of things here. And how you are connecting number of things? Either through the wireless technology or through the internet. So this networking of physical objects either through the internet or through the wireless technologies, this is known as Internet of Things. Basically in the first line it is mentioning about the physical objects. You wake up and stop an alarm, geyser, all these are the physical objects. They are interconnected, that's how they are working for you automatically. This is an example of Internet of Things. Clear? Now let us look about the other terms. Border Gateway Protocol. Like we are using the router. Router allows you to become a part of the internet, which is a network. So it follows certain rules. So border gateway protocol means the set of rules which are followed while taking an entry in a network or coming out of a network. Clear? Internet of Things, it is a network of physical objects which are interconnected with each other through the internet or wireless communication technologies. They work in tandem, like they control each other and they work automatically. Internet protocol, these are the set of rules which are followed to exchange data over the internet. For example, in which format data will be transmitted, and for example, other example of internet protocol, one is the format of data in which it has to be shared on the internet. Second, like everything connected over the internet will be having a unique digital ID, and that is given in the form of IP addresses. So it also comes under internet protocol. What is virtual private network? First, let me talk about private network. Private network means like all the computers connected within an organization. This makes a private network. What is virtual private network? So to access this private network which I just mentioned, you have to be present inside the organization, then only you can become the part of this private network. Now VPN extends this private network over the public network. You can access this private network even when you are outside this organization by the use of internet. On the internet you will be using a software which will make your computer or your presence like you are sitting inside the organization. So this type of system is known as virtual private network. I hope it will make some sense now. Let us move on the next question. 3D printing has applications in which of the following? First, let me talk about the 3D printing. 3D printing means like you are joining, it is a process of joining solid or liquid materials together with the help of the computer. This is how you define and understand 3D printing. 3D printing is such a vast field. You can do all the possible things. Even you can make a artificial bone, you can design a computer, you can make a medicine, okay, you can make a automobile, okay. So everything can be done with the help of 3D printing. 3D why? It will be a three-dimensional object. It will be looking as if I am holding this pen or I am using a car. It can make the car itself. It can make the different spare parts of the car. So the objects you make, they are of three-dimensional in nature. That's why this printing is known as 3D printing. Preparation of confectionery items, yes, it can be easily done when you can prepare the automobile spare parts. Why you cannot do this? Different layers are added with each other and you ultimately make the complete object or the substance. Manufacture of bionic ears, yes, it can be done. Bionic ears, it is an like assisted device which helps you in hearing. Automotive industry, exactly. Reconstructive surgery. Reconstructive surgery means surgery is done after an incident. For example, a person met with the accident and his bone was fractured. His bone was fractured. Now the doctors can create one artificial bone and they can do the surgery. Clear? So this is the meaning of reconstructive surgeries. Next, data processing technologies. You can design a computer which is nothing but a data processing technologies part. Clear? If I can make a computer system, then I can do this also, data processing. So all the given options are true for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the right options in the given question. This is your next question. Why is a plant called Prosopis juliflora often seen in the news. What is Prosopis juliflora? It is a invasive plant which has been a native of South America, basically Mexico and other Caribbean countries. This plant was initially in the 1980s, it was used for the fodder and for the fuel. But now this plant is, the main quality of this plant, it can well grow in the semi-arid areas. So you can grow it in a water deficient area. But the second quality, it grows very fast. This is the main benefit of this plant, Prosopis juliflora. Now this plant has become a nuisance. It is considered now invasive plant species. Invasive plant species means this plant is harmful for the domestic species, domestic plant species. It grows very fast and it outnumber the growing useful crops or plants. So in a way, it eliminates the biodiversity. Clear? It will consume all the nutrients. It will give a tough competition to the useful crops and the trees. So it will eliminate them. Elimination means it is working against the biodiversity. It is decreasing the biodiversity. Now let us look on the given options. And it is not used in the cosmetics. It is used as the fuel and the fodder. It tends to reduce the biodiversity in the area in which it grows. Exactly, its extract is used in the synthesis of pesticide. Nowhere, none of the above. This cannot be, because the second option already right about the given statement. So the right answer for this question will be B. This is our next question. Let us look on the statement. With reference to India's satellite launch vehicles, consider the following statements. It's about India's satellite launch vehicles. If you know the basics, that India is having four different generations of the launch vehicles. We started with the SLV, satellite launch vehicle. It is no longer used. Then one enhanced version of SLV was ASLV, augmented satellite launch vehicle. This is also not used. Then came the PSLV, polar satellite launch vehicle. All these three satellites were developed under the guidance of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and PSLV is known as workhorse of the ISRO. Clear? And PSLV, after PSLV we developed the recent one, GSLV, geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. This belongs to the fourth generation of the launch vehicle. PSLV can lift a weight of 725 kg to up to the low Earth orbit, and it can also take payload amounting 1425 kg, around 1400 kg payload to the GTO, geosynchronous transfer orbit, because its power is limited. When you increase the altitude, the load carrying capacity will come down. Clear? PSLV. So PSLV initially was made to launch polar satellites. Polar satellites are launched in the low Earth orbit, whereas communication satellites are placed in the geosynchronous or geostationary orbit, which is at an altitude of 35,786 kilometers. So for launching communication satellites are heavier satellites. To launch these satellites perfectly, we needed one strong launch vehicle. So we developed a GSLV. GSLV is having one advanced stage. It is a three-staged launch vehicle. In the final stage, we are using indigenously developed cryogenic engine. What is the benefit of using cryogenic engine? It provides high specific impulse. Specific impulse means a force used to carry this rocket in the space. It will be higher. Now, with the help of GSLV, you can easily place heavier geosynchronous or geostationary satellites, and basically these satellites are for the communication purpose, so we call this communication satellites. So we made a like rough type of classification. PSLV used for Earth observation satellites, remote sensing satellites. Though we can launch geostationary satellites, but it is a rough type of partition. PSLV means for remote sensing, GSLV means for communication purpose. With this background, now let us look on the given statements. PSLV launch the satellites useful for Earth resource monitoring. Earth resource means you are doing the remote sensing work. Clear? I told you remote sensing means getting information from a distance. Remote means from a distance. Sensing means getting information. And we are getting information about everything. Earth resources means resources present inside the earth like the coal, different metals. For this you will be placing your satellite in the polar orbit. Polar orbit is a LEO, low earth orbit. And this statement till this point of time is right. PSLV launched the satellites useful for earth resources monitoring, whereas GSLV are assigned mainly to launch communication satellites. The given statement is right. Now the second statement, satellites launched by PSLV appear to remain permanently fixed in the same position in the sky as viewed from a particular location on the earth. This is a wrong statement. If the first statement is right, it means PSLV will be placing the satellite into the polar orbit. In the polar orbit, it will revolve. The orbital period of a satellite in polar orbit is between 85 minutes to 120 minutes, and it will cover one complete rotation in this much time. So it is not static in the sky. It keeps on revolving around the earth pole to pole. So this statement is wrong, while this statement is true for the geosynchronous satellites, because geosynchronous satellites will remain at the same point in the sky every day. If you are looking that satellite from a specific point on the earth surface, it will look stable. It will look at the same place in the sky every day. Clear? This is the property of the geosynchronous satellite. Note about the remote sensing satellite. The second statement is wrong for this reason. GSLV Mark III is a 4-staged. It is not a 4-staged. I told you about. It is a 3-staged rocket. First stage using solid propellant, second stage using liquid propellant. It is also known as the Vikas engine. Third stage is based on the cryogenic fuel. In the cryogenic fuel, we use liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. We are keeping liquid hydrogen at minus 253 degrees Celsius and liquid oxygen at minus 183 degrees Celsius. There are number of benefits of cryogenic fuel. First, it is having the lesser weight. Second, it is having higher specific impulse. Third, it can be used for regenerative cooling. Means it is stored at very low temperature. This fuel can be used to cool down the engine itself. So these are the three different functions. Now third statement is also wrong. Here the answer will be first only. A is the right answer for this question. The next question says, consider the following, and the command will be at the end of this question, and I told you to directly read the command, then it will make more sense. Which of the above spread plant disease? So it is asking you about the spread of the plant disease. Let me tell you the basic things about the plant disease. In the plants, disease can be classified in two categories. One, like infectious disease. Infectious disease means which can be transmitted from one plant to other plant. And second category of disease will be non-infectious. Non-infectious means they will not be transmitted from one plant to other plant. For example, if there is any deficiency of a nutrient in the soil and it will result into a particular disease, it is non-infectious disease of a plant. But if there is a like tobacco mosaic virus or blast disease of the wheat, then it will be transmitted from one plant to other plant, because these are caused by the bacteria or the viruses. These pathogens can be transmitted from one plant to other plant by the help of certain agencies. Clear? It is talking about those agencies. Let us look at the following options. Yes, birds are basically agent for cross pollination. If they can transfer pollens, they can transfer the pathogens. It will be right. Yes, dust blowing means it can also take pathogens to smaller distances. If there are nearby plants, those pathogens can be received by the nearby plants. So it can also result into the spreading of the disease. Rain, obviously, rain will be solubilizing the pathogens, and it will be taken to different plants. So it is also feasible. Wind blowing, again dust blowing, wind blowing, almost same type of agents are working. All the four agents can spread the plant disease, and the right answer will be D. This is our next question. Consider the following statements. In the tropical regions, Zika virus disease is transmitted by the same mosquito that transmits dengue. See, this question requires you the static part information. So the static part means the traditional topics of your syllabus that needs to be covered with the proper depth. And here, if you know the Zika virus is transmitted by the Aedes aegypti or Aedes albopictus. These are two species of the mosquitoes. You can write about this. Aedes aegypti, Aedes albopictus. These are two mosquito species which acts as the vector for the spread of the Zika virus, and these mosquito species are also responsible for the spread of dengue, chikungunya. You can write the names: dengue, chikungunya, yellow fever, West Nile virus, and Japanese encephalitis. All these diseases are spreaded by the same mosquito, and in addition to that, the Zika virus can also be spreaded through the body fluids like the HIV, from where you can have this Zika virus infection, like by coming in contact with the body fluids like the blood, semen, or from a pregnant mother to his infant child. It can also be transmitted. See, there is one more information. It can also be transmitted even if there are no symptoms in the person. For example, if a mother does not have any symptom and she transmits this Zika virus to her infant, then it can also show the symptoms in the infant, though it were not showing symptoms in the mother. This is also feasible. Clear? So first statement is right. Next, sexual transmission of Zika virus disease is possible. Yes, it is also possible. So the right answer for this question will be C, both 1 and 2. This is match the column. Here the materials we normally consume and the controversial chemicals likely to be found in them. First, lipstick. In the cosmetics, you have a number of things. Let us study about other two first, then we can eliminate the first one, because the lipsticks can have a number of things. Soft drinks. If you know you have read the labeling of the soft drinks, basically the citrus flavored soft drinks, you will come to know about the brominated vegetable oil. they contain a name, brominated vegetable oil. I am talking about the citrus flavored soft drinks. Why we are using brominated vegetable oil? First, vegetable oil, it means the triglyceride molecules derived from the plants. Brominated means we have inserted bromine atoms in these triglyceride molecules derived from the plants. Then we get the brominated vegetable oil. This brominated vegetable oil is used as an emulsifier. Emulsifier means it is making the emulsion stable, because we are using the citrus juice in the citrus flavored soft drinks, and other medium is the water. So you try to mix one oil with the water. So we use citrus oil here. So you want to make a stable type of solution, and for making a stable type of solution you need emulsifying agent which keeps them stable, because once you prepare a soft drink it will be transported to different locations. If your soft drink is unstable, it will the two phases, like the oil phase, citrus oil, and the water phase will be separated from each other. To keep it stable, you use brominated vegetable oil. Clear? So one is clear from here, like in the soft drinks we use brominated vegetable oil. This is for sure. Next, Chinese fast food. Have you heard the name of MSG? MSG. Number of news came about MSG in the Maggi products, Nestle products, Maggi soups. This monosodium glutamate is a part of the Chinese fast food. It is used to provide flavor to the fast food. And why it is giving a flavor? Monosodium glutamate. It is a sodium compound of the glutamic acid. Glutamic acid is a non-essential amino acid. This glutamate, now this has become a salt. This has been derived from the glutamic acid. This glutamic acid is a non-essential amino acid. You can write about this. And the flavor comes because of the salt formation of this monosodium glutamate, and we are using it in number of products, like in number of meat products, in Maggi, in soups. So third also is correctly matched here. So it means first is there. Let us look on the given statements. 1, 2. There is nowhere 1, 2 except in a single statement. See, even if you don't know the complete options, all the options of a given question, then also you can make your question right. Here we can easily eliminate the other 3 options, and the right answer will be 1, 2 and 3. But let me talk about the lipstick and the lead. Yes, in the lipsticks we are using different colors, and the colors are having one ingredient, lead. It provides glossy finish to the lipstick. So we are using lead in the lipstick. Along with the lead we are using number of other heavy metals. The next question, the terms event horizon, singularity, string theory and standard model are sometimes in the news in the context of, I can imagine you don't know anything about event horizon, singularity, string theory, but this standard model you know from today's discussion. I discussed with you standard model of particle physics. This is the same model, standard model. And particle physics means you are trying to understand the evolution of the universe. Clear? Why we made a model, particle model? Because we want to understand the evolution of the universe, and this is possible with all of this. How? Now let us look at the given options. Out of 4, even if you know about a single thing, the other things can also be attributed to the same thing. Observations and understanding of this is an incomplete statement. like let me read the remaining statements. Study universe of the solar and the lunar eclipses, placing satellites in the orbit of the earth, origin and evolution of the living organisms on the earth. So understanding of the universe, here the one word is missing, universe. This will make this complete statement, and this statement will be your answer. Reason being, we are not studying solar and the lunar eclipses with the help of standard model of particle physics, and placing a satellite is not studied here. Origin and evolution of living organisms is not studied. So the only option will be observation and understanding of the universe. Now let us look on the other terms mentioned in the question. What is event horizon? Have you seen the documentaries related with the black hole? In the black hole, they show you a outer layer of space-time graph. What is space-time graph? It means the gravity. It means the outer layer up to which the gravitational pull of a black hole can be felt. Event horizon means the outer layer of the space-time curve around a black hole. This is considered as point of no return. If an object goes slightly on that border, it will be absorbed inside the black hole. So this point, outer point, is known as the point horizon. Clear? Event horizon. And second term, singularity. Singularity means this is an entity which is having infinite mass and infinite temperature, and it is considered that everything originated from this singularity. And this you will be studying in the geography. Singularity means expanding universe hypothesis started with the singularity. Everything originated from a single entity. This is the meaning of singularity. Now, because this is a part of the Big Bang theory. Big Bang theory says everything originated from a single point, from a singularity, and from that explosion till date everything is like expanding, moving away from each other. Now string theory. What is string theory? This is like the modified version of the standard model of particle physics. In the standard model of particle physics, we have studied number of fundamental particles like 6 quarks, 6 leptons, 5 force particles. Clear? This is changing, like these are the particles, a point form particles. Now string theory says instead of representing these particles in the point form, let us represent them in the form of a string. Now string theory studies everything, all the particles of the standard model of particle physics in the form of a string, how they travel through the space, how they interact with each other. So it is like a modified version of standard model of particle physics. Again, you are using it to study the universe and basically the evolutionary part of the universe. So again, everything is related with the observation and understanding of the universe. So the first statement will be the right answer. Next question, what is the purpose of evolved laser interferometer space antenna (ELISA)? So this question is again repeated in the UPSC. We discussed one match the column. In the match the column, we were given number of statements like they talked about a triangle, equilateral triangle in the sky, and that triangle is having 1 million kilometer length of a one side. So this is regarding the same thing, ELISA. That triangle in the sky is nothing but ELISA. Clear? So the same question is repeated here. If you can understand why we created a triangle in the sky, we created triangle to study the gravitational wave. And what are gravitational wave? It is the space-time fabric. Clear? So again the same answer will be here. To detect neutrinos, no. To detect gravitational waves, yes. Please remember Pathfinder LISA, laser interferometer space antenna, and ELISA. E stands for evolved laser interferometer space antenna. Both missions will be focusing on the gravitational waves. This is a future mission. This is not yet launched. This will be launched in the 2034. Now B is the right answer here. Let us move on the next question. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Smart India Hackathon? When such terms comes in the news, you must know what they are talking about. If you know the basics, even the first line of information will give you complete idea about the given question. First, let me talk about the Smart India Hackathon. Even if you don't know this 2017 Smart India, if you know this hackathon, you can easily do this question. Hackathon means it is a competitive event where you are given certain problems. You means all the technical persons who are studying into different educational institutions, they are given a problem. That problem can be shared by different departments and ministries of the government, and they were given as a challenge that anybody who thinks he has the knowledge of the technical domain, cyber domain, if he or she can solve the problem, he will be awarded. This is known as the hackathon. Clear? With this background, now let us look on the different given statements. It is a centrally sponsored scheme for developing every city of our country into smart cities in a decade. No, it has nothing to do to develop various cities as smart cities. So this statement cannot be right. Second statement, it is an initiative to identify new digital technology innovations for solving the many problems faced by our country. Yes, this is a right statement. It is a program aimed at making all the financial transactions in our country completely digital in a decade. No, this has nothing to do with the financial transactions. So the right answer will be 2 only, and among the given options, B is the right answer. The next question says, with reference to agriculture in India, how can the technique of genome sequencing, often seen in the news, be used in the immediate future? Now you must know about the static part of this genome sequencing. First, let me explain you the meaning of the genome. Genome means all the genes of an organism, whether they code for something or they don't code. It means genome consists of coding area and non-coding area of your DNA. Clear? Now what is genome sequencing? Genome sequencing means the sequencing of nitrogenous base, deciphering or identification of the sequence of the nitrogenous bases of the DNA. DNA means like it is the molecule which makes the genes and non-genes part of your chromosome. Clear? Now DNA is made up of, it is a polymeric molecule. It is made up of nucleotides. Nucleotides are in turn made up of 3 different things. What are the different constituents of one nucleotide? One nitrogenous base, second glucose, you can say the sugar molecule, one nitrogenous base, sugar molecule, and the phosphate group. These 3 ingredients makes one nucleotide. When these nucleotides are joined together one by one, these makes a polymeric molecule. You call it DNA. DNA makes different genes. Clear? And on a single chromosome we are having number of genes, and DNA is also making known genes. Known genes means non-coding part of your genetic material. We are having we can divide genetic material or or a chromosome into two parts, the genes part, non-genes part. Genes are those areas of your chromosome which codes for something. Non-genes part, they do not code for anything. Clear? But it is, both are made up of the DNA. And sequencing of these nitrogenous bases of the DNA is known as the genome sequencing. What will be the benefit of this decipherment of the sequence? It will tell you the potential of the gene. Potential means a gene is responsible for what thing. If you can know the function of the gene, you can easily correlate it with the different disease or different normal conditions. If there is anything wrong with a person, and if you know the functioning of different parts of a gene, you can correlate it with the particular disease. If you can modify that sequence, that disease can be treated. So this type of process is known as the gene therapy. Clear? It will help you in developing newer medicines and improvement of the crop or the plant species. So now with this background, now let us look on the given statements. First statement, genome sequencing can be used to identify genetic markers for disease resistance and drought tolerance in various crop plants. If you know the gene potential means the function of a gene, then you can easily find out whether this part of a gene is providing resistance against a particular disease or not. Yes, we can find out. How we can find out? We can compare, we can change the sequence, we can change the outward manifestation in that crop plant, and we can compare this changed crop plant with the normal crop plant, and we can easily find out that genetic markers for the disease resistance exist in a particular crop or not. Clear? Same way you can easily study the drought tolerance potential. Now the second question, second statement, this technique helps in reducing the time required to develop new varieties of crop plants. Yes, because in the genetic engineering, what we do, we first study the genetic sequence, then we change that genetic sequence by recombinant DNA technology. Here you can do the same thing, but one step lesser, because you already know the gene potential. With this information, you can easily edit the genetic makeup of a plant. So it will make it much more easier to edit the genes of a plant. So this is also a right statement. Now the next, it can be used to decipher the host pathogen relationship. Host pathogen relationship in crops. Yes, it can be done. Reason being, when a pathogen attacks over any plant or animal species, a part, or you can say a memory of that pathogen is recorded in the DNA or the RNA. That memory can be studied later on to derive this pathogen and the host relationship, whether there is a relationship between the host and the pathogen. So you can also do this thing. And indirectly you can also study that we discussed about the CRISPR-Cas9 system. I told you CRISPR is a part of the bacterial genome which keeps a memory of the past infections about various viruses. So that relationship exists. Host pathogen relationship exists at the genetic level. That can be studied by the genome sequencing. Clear? That can also happen in the plants. So all the given statements are right here. D will be the right answer. Now this is our next question. OLEDs, organic light emitting diodes, are used to create digital display in many devices. What are the advantages of OLEDs over LCDs? See, if you know the basics, like OLED, These are light emitting diode. O stands for organic. It means it is having carbon as one of the ingredient. Organic light emitting diodes. The main quality of these LEDs is that you can make them very flexible. LEDs can be printed with the help of inkjet printers on a fabric. Are you understanding? You can print LEDs. You can make LED screen by printing over a plastic, over a fabric. You can make them very flexible. Clear? This is the main plus point of the LEDs or OLEDs, or you can say FOLEDs, flexible organic LEDs. These are like modified form of the LED. You can make them on a flexible clothing, plastic or anything. This is the plus point of OLED. In the LCD, you cannot do that. What you require in the LCD, you require a backlight. In the display, you require a backlight. So these are thicker in as compared to the LED, and in the backlight you have to provide lighting, so you cannot make the LCD transparent. These are some of the negatives of the LCD display. With this background, now let us look on the given statements. OLED displays can be fabricated on flexible plastic substrates. This is a right statement. Roll-up displays embedded in clothing can be made using OLEDs. Yes, you can print the LEDs even on the fabric. And roll-up display means like a display means like a cloth fabric which is used in the theatrical performances, that can be moved and that can be converted into the OLEDs. Yes, this is also feasible. The third one, transparent displays are possible using OLEDs. Yes, you can make the transparent displays because you don't require any backlight in the LEDs. For this reason, you can print LEDs on a transparent sheet, transparent plastic sheet, etc. This is right. All the given statements are right here. Please, you can remember this part also. FOLED, flexible LED. If you are making like plastic as the LED, so it can be restructured and changed in the real world. I can change the shape of the display by my hand, by twisting it, by rotating it. This is also possible, and such LEDs will be known as flexible organic LEDs. This is the future of the LED. Next, in India, it is legally mandatory for which of the following to report on cyber security incidents? For this, you need to have a knowledge about CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team. CERT-IN. It stands for Computer Emergency Response Team. IN stands for India. Let me talk about some of the basics of the CERT-IN. This is a statutory body. This was constituted under section 70B of IT Act 2000. So it makes it a statutory body, and this is a nodal agency for all the cyber incidents in the country, and various functions of this body includes like identification of the cyber threats and alerting different users about the cyber threats they are facing. Third, it also take emergency measures. Four, it also coordinates with other agencies like National Disaster Management Authority and NTRO, National Technical Research Organization, which is a technical intelligence organization of our country working directly under the PMO. So it coordinates with other agencies. It also issues guidelines for the user awareness. Clear? And it also may require certain information to be furnished by number of other bodies. Those other bodies includes individuals, body corporates, data centers, various intermediaries. Clear? Those agencies, when asked by the cert IN, they have to give information, required information. They cannot deny it. So now with this information, let us look on the given options. Service providers, yes, they have to provide reports to the cert IN. Service providers, data centers, body corporates, all the given options are under the ambit of cert IN. So the right answer will be D. The next question says, what is the application of somatic cell nuclear transfer technology? To understand this technology, you need to know what are somatic cells. And obviously in nucleus you can use from the somatic cell. In the body we are having two types of cells, germ cells and the somatic cells. Germ cells means which produce the gametes, male gametes and the female gametes. Clear? Or other cells which are left over after the germ cells are considered as the somatic cells. What is the difference between germ cells and the somatic cells? Germ cells are haploid in nature. Haploid means they have only a single copy of all the chromosomes, and somatic cells are 2n. It means they are diploid in nature. Diploid means they have two copies of all the chromosomes. And to understand this somatic cell nuclear transfer technique, let me discuss with you the normal process of zygote and embryo formation. What happens? A male gamete fuses with the female gamete, and the fusion of a male gamete with the female gamete. Male gamete is a haploid in nature, because germ cells will be making the gametes in the male sperm, in the female egg cell. Please remember, these are haploid in nature, means contains only a single copy of the chromosomes. What happens in the reproduction? The male gamete fuses with the female gamete and makes a zygote, which is 2n, which is diploid in nature. This zygote will grow and it will make an embryo. Embryo will further divide and differentiate to make the complete organism. This is the normal process. And what we are doing in the somatic cell nuclear transfer technology, we have a somatic cell which is diploid in nature. Nuclear transfer, we are removing the nucleus of this somatic cell. Now this nucleus will be 2n. I am just explaining the term. Somatic cell, we have taken a somatic cell, we have enucleated the cell. Enucleated means we have removed the nucleus from this somatic cell. Now we are transferring this nucleus of this somatic cell in this zygote. What happens in the zygote? In the zygote, this is the fused sperm and the egg cell. We are having diploid nucleus. We are removing the nucleus from this zygote and we are inserting this somatic cell nucleus inside this fertilized egg cell. Zygote is fertilized egg cell. We have inserted this somatic cell nucleus. Now this fertilized egg cell will be having genetic information derived from the somatic cell, not from the sperm. Clear? Now it will be copy of the somatic cell. Now if this zygote will grow, it will be identical to the person from where you have taken this somatic cell. It will be a clone of the person. So this is a technique of cloning. Somatic cell nuclear transfer technology is a technique of cloning. So looking in the given options, C will be the right answer. It is reproductive cloning of animals. The next question, net metering is sometimes seen in the news in the context of promoting the, if you know about this term, you must know about the mechanism. Net metering. Let me explain this part. For example, we are using solar panels in various homes. This is the solar panel. Solar panels will convert the solar energy into electrical energy, but that electrical energy will be in the form of direct current. Clear? If you want to use this direct current in the homes, you will be using inverter. Inverter will be converting direct current into the alternating current, and you can use this alternating current in the houses. Now, for example, a specific amount of energy is generated during a daytime. It may happen that you are not available, or you are not able to consume the whole energy. So, this home is connected with a bidirectional meter. And here electricity grid. Now, the excess of electricity generated by solar panel will be transferred to the electricity grid through this bidirectional meter. So, this meter will be calculating the amount of energy transferred to the grid, and suppose after a few days there is no sunlight and you are not able to generate any solar energy, you are not able to generate any electricity from the solar energy. Now, you can use the power from the electricity grid, and this meter will be working in the reverse direction. It will decrease, it will minus the amount of electricity you transferred to the electricity grid during the sunny days. So, it will be working as a net metering device. So, this net metering is a term used in the solar panels or the wind energy. Here, if you are using the wind power, so you can use the wind power when there will be no wind. Same way, you can use the solar power when there is no sunny day in your area. So, this is how this term came into existence, net metering. This process is known as the net metering. Now, looking on the given options, production and use of solar energy by the households and the consumers. This is the right answer. You need not to go through any of the options if you know this much. Which of the following statements are correct? Viruses can infect, which of the following? Viruses can infect any of the host, including plants, animals, fungi. They can harm anything. And for the bacteria, the viruses which attacks the bacteria, they are known as bacteriophages. And the fungi, those viruses which attacks the fungi, they are known as mycoviruses. And the plants, we are having number of examples like tobacco mosaic virus, these can be these are the different examples. So, by looking on the different examples, you can easily solve this question. So, viruses can infect all the given options. The right answer will be D. Again, Li-Fi, we discussed visible light communication technology. This is nothing but the Li-Fi, light fidelity. And in the first lecture, I took one question regarding visible light communication. You see, in the UPSC always number of questions are repeated. If you want to get a very good score in the UPSC exam, first solve all the PYQs. Reason being, they are getting repeated again and again in one form or another. I can guarantee you almost 8 to 10 questions will be repeated from the past questions. If you add your knowledge of 30 questions to the knowledge you will be having from the PYQs, you can easily qualify this exam. So, this is again the repetition. Li-Fi, light fidelity. We discussed about Harald Haas. It is the name of a scientist who invented this light fidelity. He discovered that you can transfer the data with the help of the light, visible light. He used a data processing chip with a LED bulb, and he used one computer set to communicate between them, and he used the light coming from the LED to transfer data to the computer. He was able to transfer the data at very high speed, and the speed it offered was 224 gigahertz GBps, 224 gigabytes per second, which is much higher as compared to the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. Clear? Now with this information, let us look on the given options. It uses light as the medium for high speed data transmission. Yes, it is right. It is a wireless technology and is several times faster than Wi-Fi. Both given statements are right. C is the right answer. Project Loon, sometimes seen in the news, is a waste management technology, wireless communication technology. See, Project Loon is a project of Google. In this project, they launch number of weather balloons. These weather balloons will be broadcasting internet and communication services in the disaster hit areas. So they are basically connecting people in the disaster hit area to the internet and to the communication lines. Why it is needed? Because in the disaster, first thing happens, the destruction of various towers. After the towers will not be functioning, people will not be able to connect. So it is a kind of temporary system created through the weather balloons. You can connect the people with the outside world. So the right answer for this, wireless communication technology. And the next question says, in the context of the developments in bioinformatics. Bioinformatics means, bio means the biological information, informatics the application of the ICT, application of the computers. You are applying computers for the management of biological data. For example, the hospital records or the health records. The term transcriptome, for understanding transcriptome, you need to understand how the process of transcription and translation happens in a cell. We are having the genetic material, and we say everything is controlled by the genetic material. Genetic material means the DNA. DNA is controlling all the functions of a cell. How the DNA controls all the functions? By two processes like transcription and the translation. It forms specific proteins. So a DNA will be forming multiple types of messenger RNA molecules. This messenger RNA molecule, messenger means it carry a message from the DNA. That's why it is known as the messenger RNA, and that message is very specific, that which type of protein it has to form inside the cell. This is the message of a messenger RNA. In our body, we are having different messenger RNAs. For example, a messenger RNA will be very specific for the production of insulin hormone, because hormone will be produced from the message from the DNA. That message from the DNA will be carried by the messenger RNA. Similarly, we are having different messenger RNA for the human growth hormone. Clear? By this way, we are having number of proteins in our body. Insulin is a type of protein, human growth hormone is a type of protein. So different types of protein are formed from different messenger RNA. So in our body, we are having number of messenger RNA, and this transcriptome is a record of all the messenger RNA, all the possible messenger RNA which a person can have. Understood? Now with this information, let us look on the given options. First option says a range of enzymes used in genome editing. This is not a range of enzyme, so this is a wrong statement. The full range of messenger RNA molecules expressed by an organism. This is a right statement. The description of the mechanism of gene expression. No. A mechanism of genetic mutation taking place in cells. This is also wrong. Right answer for this question will be B. This was all about today's discussion, and you must have seen that number of things are repeated again and again. So this will guide you how you should study. And second thing, solving questions is an art. It is not purely a knowledge based phenomena. So you must learn how to read a question properly and which things you need to focus. If you are focusing on the right terms, can be, or the command, correct, incorrect, then you can solve your paper in a better way. And I will be coming with the next 20 questions tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We will start this series again. Till then, you look at the discussion part and you can interact with me on the given ID shared by the Plutus IAS. I will be giving all the answers of your queries.